So my worry beads now. I haven't brought. These are my father's worry beads, Jeremy, and my daughter found them, and ever since I stopped smoking now, this has been helping me out. It's almost like my dad telling me, "Don't smoke, Malaka." We use the word Malaka a lot. Malaka. I always tell people it means friend in Greek, but it doesn't. The English term for it is wanker, or guy who masturbates or jerks off. But it's also a term of endearment. So I could say to you, hey, Jeremy, Malaka, where you been? We're friends, right? Kyle, Malaka.
Yeah.
But you can always tell when it's used in a bad way. Because the guy's a fucking Malaka, then you know it's a bad word. But Malaka is like, in Greece, it's the most, so if you hear somebody says, hey, Malaka, where were you? It's like, hey, dickhead, where were you? If you're friends with somebody, then you'll say that.
Chung Mao.
You know? Who do you think's closer to the primates, me or Noel?
I think he goes to the primates.
I think he's closer to the primates than I am.
I got a hairy back too.
What the fuck, man?
My sister's got more Neanderthal than I do.
It's funny because America has like a pie crust. The pie crust of America hates Trump, but the filling loves him.
Yeah.
And as a comedian, see, it's funny because as a comedian, they say, if you're one-sided as a comic, especially in America, it's a problem. Because what's happening now, I worked on cruise ships right before the election. Pro-Hillary guys got fired, pro-Trump guys got fired. Because on a cruise ship, especially, it's divided. Most of these people are from South, United States, North. So when I go on a cruise ship and they say to me, do you have any political jokes? I do, but I'm going to say them. And you notice when I'm in Canada, I can say whatever I want politically. Canadians don't get upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen, like, if you're a liberal and I'm a conservative, I've never had somebody turn to me and say, oh, you're a liberal, go fuck yourself. No, it's like, whatever. I don't think Canadians really, because we have socialized healthcare and we go slightly left or slightly right. So I think that's the, guy's farting like fucking crazy.
We're eating fucking chili cheese dogs at like 3 a.m. at the Esso.
Chili cheese dogs at the Esso 7-Eleven.
I was high and he was like,
get the chips. He goes like this to the Tim Hortons. Could I get a medium coffee? I go, what the fuck is wrong with you? You never ordered coffee? Then I forgot he got high. He was high. I said, oh yeah, you're high.
Fuck.
Yeah, a medium coffee. That's not medium coffees like this.
One time we had some. One time my roommate in LA, he worked as a studio musician, and I come to the house and there's a plate with these brownies, and I'm about to eat one. He's like, "Whoa, these are really powerful brownies. Like, what are they? Like special brownies?" Yeah. He got it. He was working with Usher or somebody. I don't remember who it was, and so I grabbed one, and then I went with Angelo. He had a spot down at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach. And we go to the show, and afterwards we're driving back, and on the road to LA, which is like 30 miles from Long Beach or whatever, I'm like, let's eat one of these brownies right now. He's like, no, let's wait. Let's wait till we get back to the house.
Good thing we did, man.
Fuck. I called my other roommate and I said, hey, have you tried one of these brownies? And he's like, yeah. He's like, take like 1/3 of it. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, no, they're so powerful. Our other roommate, he's high like 24/7. He said he had some, and he basically got locked in a position in his bedroom and thought he was hearing noises, and had like fucking visions and shit for like 24 hours. He went to like a peyote fucking vision quest from this like just one. I said, all right. So we go back to his house. I chop it in third, and I chop one of the thirds in half. So we each take 6 of this brownie. We take it. We're on the fucking balcony. We're smoking cigars. 10 minutes, nothing. 20 minutes, nothing. 30 minutes, nothing. 45 minutes on the dot. Pow. We're fucking blasted high. Remember that?
My wife's sitting there going, what's wrong with you guys? Because you feel something? No. You feel something? No. Then I said, I got to go lay down, man. And I went lay down. He goes, what's wrong? I think I'm going to stop breathing. And I was fucking high. And the next day was Super Bowl. I woke up high. My vision got really like Superman vision. Like it was clear. And I could wear sunglasses. And I was high for 22 fucking hours, man. We were high. Those organic brownie.
Remember the roast beef and the.
This guy wakes up. He goes, I want 2 roast beef sandwiches. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
He's like,
bro.
let's get something to eat. And he gets up and he goes in the kitchen. He brings out this plate and he makes like a stoner fucking plate of food. It's like, there was like tangerines. Those little like cuties, whatever, like tangerines. There was like 6 Tic Tacs, a couple bird seed, wax from like the cheese around. I mean, it was fucking just nothing. Like we were fucking eating it, and his wife's like, can you come downstairs and help me with the groceries? We went down and it took us an hour to get down the stairs. We couldn't figure
We're
out
fucked up, man.
push the button and shit. We go down there and then she's like, we started laughing for no reason. She said like, the word cat or something. We were like, ah, for like 10 minutes we couldn't move. And she was like, oh fuck, you're fucking high. I don't believe this.
I woke up. Have you ever? You know how good this shit was? I woke up high. Normally you sleep it off. I woke up. I was like, fuck, I'm still high, man. And I was wearing sunglasses, and we went to see the Super Bowl, and people kept talking to me, and I wouldn't respond because I was in a zone.
Fuck, man.
I was in Wasagamak, Manitoba. That's where I was. Wherever that is.
How about in Vancouver?
Yeah, tell them that story.
Fuck, we're in Vancouver. We did a show at the River Rock.
With Frankie Spadone.
With Frank Spadone. And then we're at the casino afterwards, and this kid comes up with this girl. This is an unassuming kid, He's like, hey, man, you guys are really funny, man. I really liked it. He's like, do you smoke herb? I was like, yeah. He goes, oh, hold on. And he opens his backpack, and he pulls out this fucking thermos. It looks like it's holding some nuclear isotope from Terminator 3 or some shit like that. And he reaches and he goes, I work at a big hydroponics factory here. And he goes, and he pulls out this fucking, like, baseball diamond of fucking weed. I mean, like, this fucking nasty, like, sticky, red-haired, it looked like, I don't know what, like some fucking ginger's ball sack. And he just hands it to me. And he's like, I'm like, what am I going to do with this? I'm from the States. At the time, it was not legal. I was like, holy fuck, I'm going to go to jail for like 1,000 years. He's like, no, it's fine.
BC.
And I'm like, where are we going to smoke this? Like, just go outside, get like 20 feet away. And so me and Frank Spadone go out there. We fucking start rolling like 10 joints at a time. It was fucking crazy.
Being on stage is immediate reaction. You're the editor, you're the writer, you're the producer, you're the performer. As comedians, we're doing it all. It's just us, the mic, and the audience. That's it. So, I mean, whatever you're going to do, you live and die by your own words. And that's why, everything's that's fucking stand-up. But at the same time, doing movies is different. You got to have a certain confidence. Like, you can do a scene in a movie 15 times. And the director and producers expect you to be on mark, know your lines. The better you are off book and what you're doing. And then they want a performance. So sometimes what happens depends on what directors you're working with. When I did Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, they go by this Danny Leaner, go by the script. But then they said, okay, we need something. You're a angry Italian guy in a Tahoe in New Jersey at a checkpoint for a toll booth. So what would you say? So, when you're in a car, so you have to elevate yourself to that moment while they're filming you, just like you guys are filming us now, and then that is recorded and it goes historically forever if they use it in the film. So I think what happens, that's why actors are so nervous, or that's why actors are so insecure, because you don't know. You see performances, and we have a podcast called Funny Greek Podcast in LA, and a good friend of mine is Robert Forster, the actor, Academy Award nominated, and we had him on last week, and he put it back, like, Robert's like, well, he was at the Silver Spoon Diner in Hollywood, and Quentin Tarantino showed up, saw him, wrote the script called Jackie Brown, handed it to him. He read it. De Niro didn't want the role. He took the role. He gets nominated. Or was it Max Cherry?
Max Cherry, the Bill Bondsman and Jackie Brown.
The Bill Bondsman. And he said, I just did it. He got to make out with Pam Grier. But what's nice about Robert Forster, when I learned about him, is that it's a job. So if your job is to play this certain guy that people expect you want to be, then you have to do that. And I think, and that's why they always say with comedy, as I'm trying to make the correlation between the two, comedy, it's always, they say, how many hours do you put in to find your voice? So the audience knows when you go up, like when I go on stage, even here in Edmonton, when I go up on stage, it's like the guys are doing great jobs before me. They're all going up telling their stories, doing their thing. I think for me, it's like, this is where I'm at right now. And the audience will pick up on that. So the audience is like, okay, this guy, he's married. We get that. He's been dealing with weight issues, which is obvious, but you can tell by his attitude, but then what's going on in his life. And I think that's what people appreciate. Yes, it has to be funny, but it has to be poignant at the same time. It's almost like you're telling them, look, man, I was at Disney with my kid, this happened. Does this happen to you? And I think a lot of people after the show were coming out last night and they're like, I related to what you were talking about because I'm kind of feeling the same way right now. And that's why guys like Chappelle and Bill Burr and
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K., it's like, even Dave Attell, would you blow a guy if you put a gun to your head? Well, yeah. I mean, and then he goes, well, it wouldn't be my blow job.
But as long as it's not that hair dryer, like
it's not that hair. Yeah. So what he's saying is that, yeah, don't be stupid, but the joke is I'm not going to give him my best blow job. And say, but I think Dave Attell is one of those guys that I think is so underrated, man.
Yeah.
He's so funny, and it's so many. Nick DiPaolo. It's funny because I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of these guys.
Yeah, but you think there's a new wave of, for instance, Brett's he's very funny and
Brett reminds me a lot of Chris D'Elia.
yeah, but is that the new wave? Like, or is there a new wave of comics? Like, I get the feeling there's a new wave of comics that have a look. They look good. They have like a very specific stream of comedy, and it's very popular. And there's guys like
there's the millennials and what's attracted to them, but there's also a lot of people that are like the common sense. I think right now. I think comedy's at a crossroads because you have the people who can afford to go out and buy things who are like, "Fuck, what the fuck happened?"
Yeah.
And now all the new millennials that are kind of like, "I'm offended. I can't believe this." It's comic. Like that kid Jeff. There's a couple of girls at our cigar lounge we hang out, and I go talk to them. Why is everybody picking on me?
Yeah.
I go, look, you little fuck. Back in the day, that's how you talk to fucking girls. You went and talked to them. I wasn't picking on you. But he thinks it's picking, where our generation will say, yeah, that's what we did. We didn't have Bumblebee and fucking, what's it called? Tinder.
Yeah,
Tinder.
But now we have another guy in the cigar lounge. He's 45. He's doing the same thing. Like,
Oh yeah, he's there swiping left. Well, he's got issues with his ageism.
Oh, fuck.
So that's what I'm saying. We're living in a time right now, and it's interesting for comedy because people are offended, and then people aren't. Look at Ron White, man. Ron White's fucking great, man. He comes out and says, "Fuck it. Here's my cigar. Here's my scotch. Go fuck yourself." People like that. I think at the end of the day, the nice thing about comedy, find an audience that's gonna love you. And that's what makes it so good. You need to find an audience. It doesn't matter. Like I won't judge, because if you're a millennial to millennial audience, good for you. You're appealing to those people. If I'm kind of like, I'm sort of, my audience now is a little different. I still appeal to young people, but they're laughing at me. I'm kind of like that angry uncle that comes over for the barbecue. You little fucks. Back in the day, we had real butter and whatever. It's just funny. They laugh at that. So I think if you can be that guy they can still laugh at, you're good. But I know comics come out and they're just angry. Their marriages suck. They're not where they want to be in their career. And look, even if I look around at all my friends, man, they're all millionaires. People that I work with, Billy Gardell, Russell Peters, Jim Jeffries, Anna Silk from Lost Girl. These are my roommates. These are all people I work with, and I'm still, I think, generally happy as a headliner, as a comic. But I look at my friends, man, they're living in $5, $10, $15 million homes, flying private jets. So it's inevitable in any business, not just comedy. When you see people excel around you, you're like, fuck, am I doing something wrong?
You compare.
And I mean, I think, and everybody goes, yeah, and then we do this running joke where, with actors get something, and actors are so full of shit because it's like, when an actor gets something, the other guy's, oh, good for him. That's good. It's good for all of us. So whenever somebody gets something now, go,
Bullshit.
Oh, he got this new show, huh? Wow, good for him. That's good. That's good for all of us. And they know they can sense the sarcasm.
Yeah.
Inside, we're like, fuck yourself. How did you get it?
Yeah, and they're all fucking, dog eat dog. If the producer came to them the next day and was like, listen, here's a rifle, shoot him and his kids on Christmas Eve and you get the part, they'd be like,
they'll blow his fucking head off like JFK, man, right there.
Giving shit.
But I think we need, that's what makes comics. We need to find the funny in anything. No matter what the subject is. Yeah, there are some things across the line, I agree. Have good taste about it, but for the most part, people are like, in Hollywood, it's good. And I got a lot of my neighbors are actors. We have a lot of our friends who are actors. I'm an actor. He's an actor. I'm not saying, but I got to make fun of it. Like, they're so crazy. I don't want to hang around with that guy because his energy's really bad. What are you talking about? He's a garbage. No, his energy's bad, and I'm up for a role. I'm not even making this shit up. I'm up for a role. I don't want to be around a negative dog or goldfish or human being because I need to get this role. Really? They're so fucking. See, Kyle's laughing because he knows they're crazy, dude. Yeah. They're fucking crazy. So I'll look at this and say, this is like hilarious, man. You can't not but laugh. But
how about the podcast? We bring actors on, their buttholes like fucking clench up like that. They won't say a word. They'll be like, so what was it like working with Spike Lee? It was an experience. We bring musicians on.
Eve Six, those guys were awesome.
Fuck him. He's a fucking shitty drummer. His wife's a cunt. They don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit. Musicians, I think, are a lot like comics in that sense, where that's why comics are like Ricky Bronson said it, we're the last bastion of free speech. He's right. And even that's getting harder for us at the clubs. It's getting harder for us to say things. I had a woman tell me she's sexist. She goes, I'm sexist. She goes, you sound very sexist. I said, shut up and make me a fucking sandwich. See, that's what I wanted to say to her. I didn't say that. But that's the Sam Kinison. You know, I grew up watching Kinison. If you're poor and starving, move closer to the fucking food.
Yeah, but you think like
I love that shit.
There's that commentary that in the old days we were used to so much commentary from the comics, and even now, a lot of us try to tell a story and you take them on a ride with you. And I feel like the new wave of comedy is more of like non sequiturs and cool body movements.
Well, they're scared to touch subjects, right?
Yeah. Is it because they don't have the experience and they're young?
We were saying shit about Germany. One of your crew guys is German, but he knows we're fucking around. It's not like you're going to get upset. Where some people like, I heard this joke, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that rape jokes are funny, but this was probably the funniest rape joke I ever heard. And this was at I don't know if you were there that night, it was at the Comedy Magic Club. I can't remember the comic who wrote the joke. And he went up and he goes, I'm a product of rape pregnancy. He goes, I get my passive aggressiveness from my mom, but my assertiveness from my dad. I thought that was funny. It's a funny joke now. The topic's not funny. Yeah. People didn't want to laugh. All the comics were laughing because the actual structure and the way he said that joke was actually funny. But people are like, oh no, you can't laugh at rape. I did a show in Montreal for for women, battered women, and they have the shelters for them. And it was with Sophie Trudeau was the chairperson, and they hired me to do it. And they're all sitting around, and they said to me, Angelo, we're so happy you're coming here to support our charities, and I do a lot of charity work. And they said, but we're looking for a new name for our battered woman shelter in Montreal. And I said, why don't you just call it Tempura House? So I think it's funny. They even laugh, but no, we can't. It's important. See, it's not funny. But the funny part of that structure of the joke is battered and tempura. So that it's not. I'm not saying that women being victimized by asshole men is funny, but I'm saying the name is funny, right? And we can laugh at that, but then we can't laugh at it. But that's what we do. That's what comedians do. And I'm just saying, sometimes you'll hear things going, oh shit, I want to say that. I can't say that. But now even words like faggot or queer. I do the joke about Angelo rock faggot shoes. Now I say sissy shoes. Because faggots were the sticks they used to burn people they considered to be, homosexuals in the mid-ages. And I understand that. So, but we live in a society, I said the word retard once and a woman got upset.
Yeah, but
showed me a picture of her kid. And I said, sorry to interrupt you, but I said, I'm not making reference to your child. But I come from a generation where retard was a throwaway to the word slow, or what's the other option on that phrase? Retard?
Like special needs.
No, but so then I said, how about I say special needs? And then even that will be offensive to people. Yeah. So that's why I say when I'm in Montreal and I do my joke about the French stuff, and I go, she looked at me like I was special needs. Instead of saying retarded. Retarded's funny because I'm not you can only, like the word Malaka. Malaka, jerk off, wanker, masturbator. Hey Malaka, Jeremy, you're a Malaka. It's two different things. But I think the problem is the social justice warriors want to take your words and twist them to where they want them.
Well, everybody's really sensitive. Everybody's offended by
Yes.
everything. Everybody's like, every group now, it's like 31 Chechen L.G.B.T. Now there's 31 Chechen L.G.B.T. that are complaining about being offended or
In Canada.
being singled out or something like that. And there's groups everywhere of everybody, and they complain about everything that's said.
See, the joke there writes itself. LGBT.
Yeah.
In Canada, all our taxes are acronyms. So now we can have the LGBT, the HST, PST, GST. See, it's kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
I would try to write a joke about that. Somebody would be offended in Canada. But I'm not making fun of the LGBT from Chechnya.
Or how about
Wherever the fuck it is, Chechnya, right? I don't know. It's past. It's between Newfoundland and Prince Edward Island.
blockhead country?
No, I know where it is. I'm saying. But the thing is that LGBT, LMNOP, QRST, in Canada, you could take that acronym and turn it into a tax joke.